Hey everyone, this is Martin, and this is part 14 or 15 or whatever episode it is of the C++ FPS Game Engine devlog series. Just me talking about the maze game that I'm working on. For those of you who don't know what this is, talking through the work so far. Really, it's not a tutorial, just me blabbering on about stuff. Really, that's all. So the last thing that I did, you can probably see now, those of you who are following along, is we've got a full enclosed maze. We've got a maze with a ceiling. We've got walls which are 3 meters high or 3 units high. We've also got all of the debug lines for physics rendering as well, and also I can magically turn these off. I'm going to do this on my other keyboard, but boom, there you go. So I can toggle those nice and easily there. I also added like the world center sort of axis there as a little debug test as well. But this is progress. It's kind of, you know, a full level. It's fully playable, and it's playable from start to finish. I'll try and finish it if I remember the way. Physics movement is still naff. I need to fix that. Frame rate is still horrible. That's the sort of the exit collider there. So for some reason when I first hit it, it doesn't seem to work. So I've got to look into that. We'll see. Next level, but there you go. And I also did a little bit of debugging with the physics as well. So if I toggle that back on, I put in a cube over here. What I have fixed as well is my collider now. The cube collider, as in the capsule collider on the player, is now y-axis orientated. It's not lying on the floor. I think I might have said that in the last video, perhaps. Maybe I didn't. But just to re-explain, see how this collider in front of me here is like that's basically just a replica of the player collider that I'm using on the character right now, which is the wireframe. You can kind of see there, that's the bottom, and then, well, the camera's right at the top, so you won't see the wires. But that's just a replica there. What was happening was it was laid down flat, so it was basically aligned to its x-axis. And so when I was moving around, I was able to go under cubes and under 1 meter clearance colliders, even though visually I shouldn't have been. So what I've done is I've switched that up to be correct, and I'll show you the code in a moment. And I think that was it. Oh, the other thing, yeah. So, okay, I fixed the walking as well. So what was happening before, if it wasn't clear, when I was looking down and walking forward, I was going very slow. And what I was also doing when I was walking backwards, I was sort of jumping up. So what was happening was the vector of movement was getting applied in the direction of the camera. So what I mean was, as I was looking down this way and pressing forward or W on my keyboard, it was the vector of direction was pointing down into the floor, and so the forward momentum was being very, very slow. And what I was also doing when I was pressing backwards, it was jumping up slightly, because if you imagine, if I'm looking down, the backwards vector is going to be up in the air towards the back, sort of coming out the back of the player's head, if you will. And that was causing the character to jump up slightly. So all I've done is cancelled out the Y magnitude, any motion in the Y direction, and then after that it gets normalized, and so the motion is correct now. Like I'm walking forward here in the correct speed, I'm walking backwards. If I jump up, I'm also moving forward. It's a little bit hard to tell, so I'm sorry that it's probably very laggy. This I need to get a new computer one day. God damn it. So anyway, let's talk through the code, and I won't take too long on this video. I'm trying to keep these kind of short and to the point where I can. So oh gosh, where is it now? The first thing was in the kinematic character controller. Yeah, so to fix the capsule being orientated on the x-axis, I needed to use a BT capsule shape Z, which is weird. I don't get it. But the one that you saw on screen a moment ago that was stood upright, that is using a normal capsule, not a one that's orientated to the Z-axis. So I'm probably doing something wrong here. I'm sure I am. I've even put in like a to-do here. For some reason I needed to use the BT capsule. BT stands for bullet capsule shape Z instead of BT capsule shape. So I'm doing something wrong. Something in the code here is wrong. I need to figure it out. It's not a problem right now. I can come back to it. The game plays. It works correctly. I just don't like why I've had to put in this hack, and I don't understand why. But that fixed it for some reason, even though my other example capsule that I showed you before didn't need to use that. It just used the BT capsule shape, which is orientated to the y-axis. So the way I found that out, in case you're curious, or if anyone's digging around or wanted to know about bullet, a little bit more is I just went into this one. So if I go to definition of the BT capsule collider, this one is at the top here. I think it explains. If I go maybe to the BT capsule shape, might explain in here, but I basically read through some of the source files in Bullet. There you go. So BT capsule shape represents a capsule around the y-axis. That's so you know. Notice that it's not got that z. But here there is also a BT capsule shape X and a BT capsule shape Z around the Z-axis. So who knows? I've got to figure that out. The one which was the motion thing, causing my character to, well, now the character doesn't slow down when looking down at the floor, is in the character, oh, what is it? The character component. I think if I go to this is again these for anyone who's just following this along, it is just me sort of rambling on and sort of just blurting things out, trying to just explain things as I go. So I think it's the player character controller. Yes, there we go. So we don't want to apply any movement in the Y direction based on rotation. And then I've done an explanation here. So without this, the character jumps in the Y direction when moving backwards and looking down, since the vector will be pointing up and backwards. So all I've done is zeroed out the Y direction before normalizing as well. Now, I don't know if this is the correct way to do this entirely. I don't know if this is the best way, to be honest. Like I say, it works right now, so I might come back to this. There is a Bullet Physics demo project that you can get, which is basically with the Bullet Physics library. You can download it, and then I've seen a guy online who ran the project in Visual Studio, built it, played it, and it's got a bunch of demos within a UI. There's probably a character one in there that I can copy. Probably most of this is okay. This came from the course that I was following. However, like I say, when I was looking down, that was a problem. When I was looking when I was looking down and walking forward, it was causing the player to slow down, and when I was pressing backwards, it was causing the player to jump. You know, so that was a problem, of course. So that was the other thing I fixed. And then the other thing was, I mean, this one's pretty simple, but in the level file, all I did was add in the ceiling here. So just another JSON object, and then I've added a mesh collider, the position that I want it to be in, and then pretty simple stuff, which that is physics component. Again, I link this to Unity in my brain. You know, I'm basically defining here game objects. This game object is called a ceiling. It has a mesh component. You know, that's a component, like one that we would add to a game object within Unity. And then defining the material, the physics component, and so on. And the only other changes that I did was on the walls here. All I did was set those to 3 units high or 3 meters high. I like to think of it in meters. Most of us do usually. And then each of the physics components has a 3 meter high collider as well. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, so that was it. That was pretty much the update since the last video. I'll probably leave it there, guys. I've got to think about what I'm going to handle next. It's probably going to be generating the maze procedurally. Now, if I can say that, procedurally. I did some talk about this last time, but I did want to get a demo level roughly sort of created first. And the next thing is to maybe make a level where that is auto-generated using a maze generator algorithm. We'll see. I've got to brew that in my brain and see what I'm going to do next. And then maybe after that, deal with the physics, because right now it is not frame rate independent. Level 1 walks a lot slower than level 3 because the frame rate at level 3 is lower. I do need to have some kind of frame rate indicator on the screen, like as a debug. So there's a bunch of different things that have gone in my brain, but I think the procedural maze generation will be the next port of call, because then that will kind of define what I need to do next, maybe. So like I say, physics, frame rate, optimization, level progression, and I can kind of get a feel for the game. You know, how does it progress? And it'll be interesting to play a level that I don't know what is being generated as well, so that might be cool. So anyway, that is about it, guys. I'm going to catch you in the next one.